So here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation. Width I'm going to choose 1920, height 180, frame rate is 30, and duration I'm going to choose around 1 minute long, and background color is black color, and simply hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on titles action. Then let's hit Ctrl N to create another composition, and we are going to call it as fractal noise, like that, and hit OK. Then press Ctrl Y and let's hit enter to create any kind of a background layer and apply fractal noise effect on it, and simply double click to apply. Then increase the brightness and decrease the contrast, and let's make this complexity 1. Go to the transform properties, uncheck this uniform scaling, and scale width I'm going to choose around 1000, and scale height let's decrease totally like that. Then alt click on this evolution tab, evolution option, and start time star 90 and deselect this. And if you hit spacebar, you will get this kind of animation. Now let's go to the main animation and hit Ctrl 0 to open the project window. Now I have the Stranger Things logo. You are free to choose any logo you want if you want. I'm going to bring this over here. I'll press S and I'll decrease the scale. And make sure that whatever logo you are going to choose, it should be PNG format. So after going to do that, I'm going to select this and I'll press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose and choose move all attributes into new composition, and we are going to call it as logo and hit OK. Then I'm going to select this, go to the effect and presets panel and search for fill effect and double click to apply, and we are going to choose white color just for now. Now after that, let's select this logo, go to the layer options and choose auto trace, and over here choose current frame, blurriness 0, and channel should be alpha, and do not click on this apply to new layer and simply hit OK. So we will get this kind of a mask. Then go to the effect and presets panel and search for stroke options. So enable stroke. In generate you got the stroke, simply double click to apply. Now after this, over here we have to choose all mask, so click on it and let's deselect this stroke initial sequence, and on original image we are going to choose this, and over here let's choose reveal original image. Okay, so now if you increase this stroke, as you guys can see, we are gonna get this kind of a stuff. So initially stroke width I'm going to choose 5 pixels, not 5 pixels, 5 pixels, and initially end value should be 0. So let's create one keyframe at end and one keyframe at brush size. And now let's go inside this logo, go inside this effect and the stroke, and over here up to around 4 seconds I'm going to increase this end value to 100, like that. Okay, and select those keyframes and let's hit F9. So if you check it out, this animation, we are gonna get this kind of a revealing animation. Now let's go to the start, select this logo and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. Select this second layer, and over here brush size I'm going to choose 10. Then select this layer, hit Ctrl D again. Select this third layer and we are going to choose 15. Select this logo, hit Ctrl D, select the fourth layer and choose this stroke brush size and choose 20. Select this logo, hit Ctrl D, select this fifth layer and let's choose 25. Then select this logo, hit Ctrl D, select the sixth layer and let's choose this value to 30. Okay, so we have this 6 layers. I am going to take a gap of 10 frames, and with the help of open square bracket I am going to adjust them one by one like that. Okay, move this over here. With the help of open square bracket I am going to adjust it, and let's hit U to minimize all of them. So now if you check it out, this animation, we are gonna get something like that. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is getting filled. So let's select the sixth layer and hit Ctrl D to bring this at the top, and let's try to bring this somewhere up to, let's say, 2 seconds. Okay, and go to the start of this layer, and over here stroke brush size I'm going to increase totally, like that. Okay, so we have to make sure, let's enable this layer only so we can get this kind of a preview. Now what I'm gonna do, at the start of this, let's select this, and brush size at the start should be 0, and then hit U, and let's go somewhere around 5 seconds over here. We are going to increase the brush size totally in such a way that it should cover the entire logo, like that. So if we check it out, this animation, we will get this kind of a animation over here. Okay, so let's minimize this and let's deselect this option. So if you check it out, this animation from the start, now we got something like that. Now all we need to do is to do some change in color. So select this second layer, and in fill option I'm going to choose red color. Similarly over at this point I'm going to choose a red color over here, like that. And then for this topmost layer I'm going to choose a red color again. Okay, so if you check it out, this animation, now we got something like that. Okay, now after that, let's select the 7th layer and try to bring this at the top. Then hit Ctrl 0 to open the project settings, and we will bring this fractal noise layer over here, and let's bring this over here and choose alpha mask. Okay, so at this point we will get something like that. Okay, over here. Now let's select this fractal noise, go to the effect and presets panel and search for tint effect and double click to apply. And instead of red color, black color, I'm going to choose red color. Okay, so if you check it out, this animation, now we are getting something like this. Okay, now over here somewhere around at this point, for this layer over here, let's, instead of this red color, or let's instead of this white color, I'm going to choose, let's say, black color over here for now. Okay, so we'll get a little bit of black stroke over there. Okay, now after this I'm going to select all of them, and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift C, and I'm going to call it as logo animation, and let's call it as 01, and hit OK. Then hit Ctrl D, then press S, unlink this, and let's make this -100. Press P for position and try to bring this downwards. Now this gonna get act like a reflection. So let's select this layer, go to the rectangle tool, and we are going to create this kind of a mask. Then go to the mask properties and increase the mask feathers like that. Press T for opacity, and let's make this opacity 80. Okay, then hit Ctrl 0, and let's bring your fractal noise over here, and let's hide this. Then select this logo layer, go to the effect and presets panel and search for compound blur effect, and double click to apply on this compound blur. And blur layer, we are going to choose our fractal noise. Okay, so now if you check it out, this along with this animation, we'll get that blurriness over there as well. Okay, now after that, let's hit Ctrl Y to create one solid background with the grayish color, and try to bring this downwards, and go to the effect and presets panel and search for CC Vignette effect and double click to apply. Then right click new and create one adjustment layer. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for glow effect, and let's double click to apply, and let's increase the threshold to 90, glow radius to 40, and glow intensity to 0.5. Okay, like that. So you will get that glow effect over there as well. Then after that, right click new and create one null object. Select all the logo animation and all these 3 layers and make it apparent with this null. Select this null, press P, alt click on this position, and apply wiggle 3,3 and deselect this. So now if you check it out, this animation, we will get that wiggle animation over there. Now right click new and create one adjustment layer. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for posterize time effect, and double click to apply and choose 15 frame rate. Similarly, I am going to apply noise effect on it and apply and choose 25% noise. Okay, So now if we check it out this animation, we will get this kind of a revealing animation over there. And up to 7 seconds, I'm going to hit end, go to the start, select this null object, press S, and let's make this 120 and create one keyframe and go to around 7 seconds and let's make this 100. So if you check it on this animation now, along with this, we will get this kind of a reveal over here. So this is how you can create this kind of a logo reveal animation inside of After Effects. So here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation. Width I'm going to choose 1920, height is 180 and frame rate I'm going to choose 60 and duration is 1 minute long and simply hit OK. Then go to choose grade and guide option and click on title section. Then I'm going to select my text tool and I have this quote over here, impossible until you try. So I'm simply going to press Ctrl V to apply that text over here. For the font, I'm going to choose Colvetica Heavy Compressed. Okay, I'm going to choose all caps, and if you want, then you can choose this bold version as well. Right now, I'm going to select normal version. So select this text and let's go and press Y, or you can simply select this pen behind tool and zoom in a little bit. And by holding Control, try to bring this anchor point at the top. Okay, like that. Then go to the Align tab and choose Align horizontally. Then zoom in, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and let's try to bring this text downwards like that. Then I'm going to select my next word, which is until. Select this text, hit Ctrl T and hit Ctrl V to apply this. Then select this, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and let's try to bring this over here like that. And I'm going to choose this viewer, so hit Ctrl C to copy, hit this U, select this, hit Ctrl D, and let's try to bring this over here downward. And this time I'm going to choose this word try. Okay, so now we have this alphabets over here. Select all of them, go to the Align tab and choose Align horizontally, so all of them are not properly aligned. If you want, then you can align them like that as well. Okay, so it's totally up to you. I'm going to bring this align not horizontally, but align at the center, or align horizontally, sorry. Then after this, I want to increase the size of this. So for that, I'm going to right click new and I'll create one null object. I'm going to select all of this and I'll make it a parent with this null. Then select this null and press S for scaling option, and I try to adjust the scale so I can bring this like that, and then bring this null object in such a way that this it should be at the center. Okay, then I'm going to delete this null object. Now after that, we have all of this text for which the anchor point is at the top. Now let's try to select all of them and convert these objects into 3D. Then select this impossible text and go to the active camera and let's choose left align. Okay, now press R for rotation, zoom in a little bit. Let's go to somewhere around 10 seconds, or let's go to start. And initially I want to rotate it on let's say x-axis. So initially it should be -90, and let's create one keyframe. Then go to around 20 frames and let's make this 60 over here. Initially let's go at the start, it should be -90, so it will rotate it like that. Then after a few frames I'm going to make this -30. Then after a few frames I'm going to make this 10. Then after a few frames I'm going to make this 0. Okay, so let's go and choose active camera again. So now if you check it out this animation, I'll get something like that. Now let's select those keyframe and let's hit F9. And now I want this animation should be a little bit faster. So by holding Alt, I can bring this a little bit over here. Okay, like that. Or you can select this last keyframes, and by holding Alt, you can increase the duration a little bit. So we will get something like that. Okay, now initially along with this there should be scaling animation as well. So let's select this Press S and initially create one keyframe. Go few frame forward to create another keyframe and go to the start and let's make this value 0. Select those keyframe and repeat and hit U so we can see both the keyframes. So now if you check it out this, we will get this kind of a pop-up. Okay. Now I'm going to select those keyframe and I repeat Ctrl C to copy. Then select all of these layers and hit Ctrl V to paste it. Now hit U. So now we have applied all of these layers to this. But if you see over here, there is some mistake. The reason being is that we need to select this and hit Ctrl C to copy. Let's select this and hit Ctrl V over here. So it will be over here. The reason is we don't need to select all of them and hit Ctrl V. So make sure to select this one layer and hit Ctrl V to apply those text properties. I mean keyframes. Then select this and then try hit Ctrl V to apply this. So now if we check it out this, we are going to get something like that. Now I'm going to select all of these layers and make sure to enable the motion blur. So we will get that proper, little bit motion blur. Now I'm going to take a gap of 10 frames over here. So let's select this with the help of open square bracket, move this over here, go to 20, select this, move this over here, go to 30, select this, move this over here. So we will get something like that. Then after this last keyframe, I'm going to select all of them and I'll press P for position to create one keyframe. Then I'll go to around 2 seconds over here. I'm going to select this and this, and by holding shift or instead of select this and with the help of this X arrows, try to bring this over here. Then select this and this layer by holding control and try to bring this from here to here like that. Then select those keyframe and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here. Okay, so if you check it out this, we will get something like that. Okay, and also here there should be a gap of 10 frames. So I'm going to select this and let's move this over here. Select this and let's move this over here. Select this and let's move this over here. Okay, so we will get something like that. Okay, and this animation is gonna end over here, so I'll hit N over here. So if you check it out this, we got this and we will get this animation. Okay, now around this point there should be some additions over. So for that I'm going to select my pen tool. Then from here to here I'm going to create one stroke and let's make this fit. Then select the shape layer and hit Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. And then select this impossible and U word and try to bring this at the top over here. So we'll get kind of a distortion. Okay. Then select this shape layer, hit Ctrl D, press R for rotation and let's rotate it somewhere around like that. So then select this and go to the color options, I mean stroke colors, and change the color of this one to somewhere around like that and hit OK. Then select this shape layer, go to the effect and presets panel and search for drop shadow effect and double click to apply the drop shadow and then increase the softness to 200 and also increase the distance a little bit and opacity of this one should be 40. Then select this drop shadow, hit Ctrl C, select this shape layer and hit Ctrl V. So we will get that over here as well. Okay, like that. Then I'm going to press Ctrl Y to create one solid background and I'm going to choose grayish color background and I'll try to bring this downwards. I'll go to the effect and presets panel and I'm going to search for CC Vignette effect and double click to apply. Okay, so if you see out this animation, we will get this and this animation is going to be in the form of view. So this is how you can create this kind of a text animation inside of After Effects. We are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as me animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, duration is 1 minute long and background color is black color and simply hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title section to get this kind of grid. Then hit Ctrl N to create another composition, and I'm going to name it as text. Width over here I'm going to choose 220 and height I'm going to choose 200 and hit OK. Then let's make this fit. We will get this kind of a composition. Then select your text and type whatever text you want. I'm going to type motion. Then go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. We have to make sure that this text should fill up this box. Okay, so I did something like that. Then I'm going to press Ctrl Y to create one wrap solid background, and I'm going to bring this downwards. Then I'll go to the main animation and I'll bring my text layer over here. Text comp. Then I'll go to the effect and this panel and I'll search for CC reptile effect and double click to apply. Then expand down, we are going to choose 2000. Expand up, we are going to choose 2000. Select this text layer, press P for position to create one keyframe. Zoom in, and then go to 5 seconds over here and hit Ctrl R to bring one ruler and try to bring this line in such a way that it should touch the bottom of this text. And then let's try to increase this value to somewhere around over here like that. Then alt click on the stopwatch and let's apply loop out expedition over here like that, and let's deselect it. So after this as well, we will get this animation in the form of loop. Then I'm going to select this text layer and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose and make sure to choose move all attributes into new comp and text. I'm going to call this as text animation and hit OK. Then let's remove this line. Then go to the effect and presets panel and search for mesh warp effect and double click to apply. And rows and columns we are going to choose 2 and 2. So we will get this kind of a layer. Then zoom out. Then I'm going to select this area and this area, and with the help of arrow keys you can try to bring this totally like that. Okay, we have to bring this totally up to stretch as much as you can for main motto that this red line should touch the end of the compositions. Okay, like that. So I'm going to increase it like that. The reason why I am going to move these lines with the help of arrow keys, because it's really difficult to move these lines with the help of mouse. So that's why I'm going to choose arrow keys like that. Okay, I think this much distance is enough. Now same procedure for this handles as well. Select those by holding shift, and same with the help of arrow. I'm going to bring this totally like that. Okay. And once you see that the distance is matching, you can, let's make this fit and try to adjust the stuff like that. Okay, so this looks good. This looks good for me. Select this and let's make the quality to 20 like that. Okay, you can increase this as well if you want, but I don't think that will make anything so let's make this 2p only. And if you go inside this and if you hit U, our animation is in the form of loop at 5 seconds. So if you go to the main animation and hit N over there, and if you check it out, this, let's make this quad resolution, and we are gonna get something like that. Obviously you can check it out in full resolution as well, but the thing is that this will take a little bit time to load. So let's make this quality 2 for now, so it will not take too much time to get load like that. Okay, now let's go inside this text and let's remove this, hide this background. So if we check it out, this we will get something like that. Now let's select this text animation layer, and I'm going to hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and let's go to around 10 frames and let's move this over here like that. Or you can take a gap of 5 frames as well, and let's move this over here. Hit Ctrl D, go to 5 frames forward with the help of open square bracket, move this over here. Hit Ctrl D, go 5 frames forward and let's move this over here. Now select this fourth layer, go to the effect and presets panel and search for fill effect and double click to apply. Select this, go to an effect and presets panel, choose green color over here like that. Select this third layer, go to the fill options and let's choose blue color like that. Select this layer, hit Ctrl D again, and let's try to bring this to 20 frames. Select this second layer, apply fill effect, and let's choose black color over here like that. Okay, now let's select this to go over here and hit B for bringing this timeline over here. Now after 5 seconds, I will go 20 frame forward over here and we will hit N over here. Okay. So after that, we will get this in a form of loop. So let's make this photo resolution so we can see this whether it is in the form of loop or not. Yes, it is like that over here. Now let's make this. Now after that, I'm going to select this topmost layer, which is this white color, and hit Ctrl D. And let's enable this layer only. Go to the effect and presets and search for find edge effect and double click to apply and invert this layer. And let's deselect this. Select this and press F4 and let's choose screen maybe like that. And with the help of arrow keys, I'm going to bring this a little bit over here like that. Again, hit Ctrl D, and with the help of arrow keys, I'm going to bring this a little bit over here like that. Okay. So we will get something like that. Now press Ctrl Y to create one solid background and try to bring this downwards. Select this last 3 layers and go to the blending mode and let's choose multiply, or let's try to add screen maybe like that. Okay, so we will get this kind of stuff, or if you want then you can choose normal as okay. And let's make this quad resolution so we can see it's moving properly because it is in full resolution. That's why we are getting the Trippy effect. Now select this topmost layer, which is I think not topmost but this layer which contains this text, and let's choose quality to 20. Okay, so if you check it out this over here, now it's proper smooth. Initially when the quality was 2 over here, we are getting this kind of a patches, but sooner you increase the quality it will become a smoother. Okay, and you should apply, if you want then you can apply that quality standard to this one as well as to this one. Okay, like that. And let's make this fit like that. So this is how you can create this kind of a triple text animation inside of After Effects. Okay, so first thing first, here we are in Adobe Photoshop. Now I have this Microsoft logo with me. All you need to do is simply go to the Google, search for logo, and you simply open in Photoshop. Now over here we don't need this white background. So for that I'm going to go and choose my magic eraser tool over here. Choose this magic eraser tool and click on this white color. Similarly click on this as well as on this. So we will get something like that. Then after that I'm going to select my rectangle tool, and then I'm going to select this Microsoft Word, hit Ctrl X to cut it out, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. And let's double click on it and let's call it as text and simply hit OK. Okay, I mean hit enter. Then we will hide this. Now we have this squares. I want all of those squares on separate layer, so I'm going to select my rectangle tool over here and let's select this much portion. Pick Ctrl X, create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Double click on it and let's call it as 01. Hit enter and let's hide this. Same procedure I'm going to follow for this one. Hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Double click on it. Let's type 02. Hit enter and let's hide this. Same procedure for this blue one. Hit Ctrl X to cut it out. Create a new layer. Press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Double click and hit 03 and hit enter and let's hide this. And for this one we don't need to do extra procedures. Simply hit 04 and hit enter. And let's enable all of these layers. and let's save this file as Photoshop document. Now each and every stuff is properly on separated layer. Now all you need to do is simply go to Adobe After Effects, create a new layer, and let's call it as main animation. Click on this new composition and type main animation. Width I'm going to choose 1920, height 180. Frame rate, if you want smoother animation, choose 60 frames per second. And duration I'm going to choose somewhere around 1 minute long. And background color is white color, and simply hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title section. Then I'm going to press Ctrl I to import your logo. I'm going to select this Photoshop document and import as choose instead of footage, choose composition, width and layer sizes. With the help of that, you can easily animate each and every layer of this Photoshop file, and simply hit import and hit OK. So we got our logo up over here. Now double click on it to open this. Select all of these layers and hit Ctrl C to copy. Go to the main animation and hit Ctrl V to paste it. Now simply bring them over here. Now if you see, the size of this logo is quite big. So to minimize this, what I'm going to do, I'll right click new and I'll create one null object. I'm going to select all of these layers, and over here you will get this option called parent and linking. Simply click this round structure and make it a parent with this null object. So now this null object is if you move this null object, it's moving our logo. So hit Ctrl Z and let's select this null object and press S for scaling option, and let's scale the size of this logo. Okay, so let's make this 60, and now let's delete this null object, we don't need that. Now let's select this text and let's hide this. Now we know the final position of our logo, it's gonna be over here. So I'll hit Ctrl R and let's bring all of this ruler to somewhere around over here. Then bring one ruler to cut on this edge, bring one from the top, and bring one from the top again to move this over here. So it would be easy for us to understand the final position of my squares are gonna be over here. After that, I'm going to right click new and I'll create one null object. Hit enter to enable the name of that, and I'm going to call it as controller and hit enter. Then select this controller and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Then go to the align tab over here. You will find your align tab over here. I have already selected it over here. And if you're not seeing over here, simply go to the windows and over here search for this align, so you will get that. Then after that, select this controller and go to the align it horizontally and then align it vertically, so it will come over here. Now I'm going to select all of these 4 layers. I'll press P for position, and let's try to bring this somewhere over here. Zoom in a little bit like that. Okay, now let's make this fit. Now press P for position and create one keyframe. Zoom in a little bit. Let's go to around 1.30 frames and create another keyframe. Go to the start, then select this yellow layer and let's try to bring this downwards. Select this blue color, bring this over here. Select this red, move this over here. Select this green and let's move this over here. Then select those keyframes and let's hit F9. Go to the graph, select this graph, and by holding shift move this handle over here and let's disable this graph. And after that, I'm going to take a gap of 10 frames. Select this, move this over here, and select this, move this over here. Select this, and with the help of open square bracket, I'm going to click on it. Okay, so what will happen, we will get this kind of a variation. But what I'm gonna do, let's select all of this by holding shift and hit open square bracket to bring all of them at the start only. We will do this ranking position later. After that, when all of them are over here, somewhere around at this point, at this last keyframe, I'm going to select this controller. I'll press R for rotation and let's create one keyframe. Go to around 3.30 frames and let's make this one complete rotation. Select those rotation keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph, Select this graph by holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here like that. Okay, so what will happen that we will get rotation of that null object over here. As you guys can see, this null object is rotating. Now I'm going to select all of those 4 layers and I'll make it apparent with this controller. So now if you see, after this animation we will get rotation of those. Now after that, I'm going to select those 1 to 4 layers, create one keyframe at position. I'll go to around 5 seconds and I'm going to change the position of that to somewhere up to this. Okay, and select those last position keyframes and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, I'll move one handle over here and then I'll move one handle over here. Okay, so if you check it out this animation now, you will get this and then you will get this. Now after that, I will zoom in and let's go to around 10 frames. Select this second layer and with the help of open square bracket, move this over here. Let's select this, move this over here. Let's go and move this over here. So I'm going to take a gap of 10 frames. So I'll get this kind of a, animation over here. Now when this things are gonna get moving towards this position, I am going to enable my text layer over here, which is over here, and I want this text should come after this. Okay, so let's go over here somewhere around at this point. Hit open square bracket to bring this over here and press E for position to create one keyframe. Then go to last keyframe, which is over here, and create another keyframe. And initially I'm going to move this totally over here. Select those keyframe and let's hit F9. Okay, so we will get something like that. Now after this, I'm going to select my rectangle tool and I don't want any stroke, so I'll delete the stroke. And for the fill, I'm going to choose any color and let's select this and let's move this over here and hit enter and let's call it as mask and hit OK. Then bring this over here, select this text, press F4 and choose alpha mask. Okay, so we will get something like that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this mask and I'm going to make it apparent with 4th layer, which is not 4th layer, but let's do one thing. We will select this yellow layer, which is this one. So hit U, select this mask and we will make it apparent with this second layer, which is this yellow one. So now if you see over here, we are gonna get something like that. So if you check it out this animation now, we will get this and then we are gonna get something like that. Then this animation is ready. I'm going to press F4 to enable, with the help of F4, you can toggle between these options. Select all of them and enable the motion blur. So with the help of that, what will happen that you can simply get that motion blur effect over there. Then I'm going to select all of them and I'll press Ctrl Shift C to recompose and I'm going to call it as animation and hit OK. Then I'll go to the start. I'll press S. I'm going to make this 110 and I'll create one keyframe. And at the end of this, somewhere around 7 seconds, I'm going to make this 100 and hit N over there. So now if you check it out this animation, along with this, you'll get a little bit of a scaling animation over there as well. Then press Ctrl Y to create one solid background and bring this background downwards. So yep, this is how you can create this kind of a simple logo reveal animation inside of After Effects. So here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as May animation like we always do. Width I'm going to choose 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30 and duration we are not going to choose much more duration. So I'm going to choose somewhere around 1 minute long and background color I'm going to choose white color for now because it will be easy for us to recreate this animation and let's hit OK. Then we'll go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title section. Now I'm going to select my text tool and for the font you can choose any font you want. Currently I'm going to choose Helvetica and I'm going to choose red color for now and type your any text. Now I'm going to type graphics over here because in that video I chose, motion. So I'm going to choose this graphics, and let's choose press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. And let's try to reduce the distance between these alphabets. Okay, like that. Now over here, what we can do over here is, let's select this G and hit Control D to duplicate it, and let's lock this bottom layer because this gonna act as a reference layer for now. And now let's select this graphic layer and press Control D again. But before that, select this and let's change the color of this text to white, I mean black, and let's remove all of this remaining letters, and let's choose this G. Now let's select this G and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. See, make sure to select your text tool and type over there R. Now select this R, press V for selection tool, and by holding shift try to match with this one. Then hit Ctrl D to this layer, hit Ctrl T, which is a shortcut key for text tool, and type A over there. Then select this A, press V for selection tool and try to match with this A. Okay. So we are going to follow this procedure until we are going to get our proper word. Like I'm going to call it as P. Hit Control D, move this over here. Hit Control T and type H. Select this and try to adjust it. Again hit Control D. Let's move this over here and let's type I. Select this and you can adjust it with the help of arrow keys as well. Okay, move it over here like that. Again hit Control D, move this over here, hit Control T and type C over there and try to adjust the position. You can do that with the help of arrow keys as well. Hit Control D, move this over here with Control T and type S. Okay, so all these alphabets are ready. Now I'm going to delete this bottom layer which has all the alphabets, and I'm going to make this fit, and let's choose your selection tool. Now I'm going to select this alphabet, and now if you see over there the color is red, we will choose this as red only, but we will hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, and let's try to bring all of these layers at the top, and let's change the color of this layers to yellow. Okay, now hit Ctrl E to select all the alphabets and press Ctrl Alt Home on your keyboard, so all the anchor points of each and every alphabet is gonna come at the center. Now we will select all the yellow layer colors and let's lock them. Then select this remaining text, and we will go to the character option over here, and we are going to click on this no fill color and go to the stroke color and choose black color, and then we will hide all of these other layers like that. Okay, and stroke width over here I'm going to choose 2 pixels. Okay, so I think this much is gonna look good. Now I'm going to select this G. I'll go to the animate over here, but currently if you see over here there is not going to be a trim path animation because this is a text layer, not a shape layer. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to select all of this, right click, create, and as you guys can see it's not possible to do that. So let's select this, right click, go to the create and choose shape from text layer. Okay, let's see if it's possible for that. No, it's not. So we have to do it individually, and then after doing that remove this original text layer and delete it. Okay, then select this R, right click, create and shape from text layer and delete this R. Select this, create shape from text layer, delete this A. Select this, create shape from text layer, delete this P. Let's follow this procedure a little bit faster, like that. Let's delete this and let's select this. Okay, so as you guys can see, now we have all of this portions. Now if I select this G, and now if I can go to the add, I'm gonna get that option called trim path. But before that, we need one line that should come from here and it should fill up this G. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to select my pen tool. Let's remove this fill, we don't need that. And for the stroke color, I'm going to choose black color, and stroke width, I'm going to choose 2 pixels. Then zoom in and make sure to create one point over here, and by holding shift create another point over here, and let's deselect it so we got this line. Now select this line, hit enter, and let's call it as stroke and hit enter. Then select the stroke and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the add menu and we are going to choose trim path. Go to the trim path and let's make this start value 100 initially. Create one keyframe. Zoom in a little bit. Let's go to around 20 frames and let's make this value 0. Select those keyframes and hit F9. So if you check it out this, we are gonna get something like that. Okay, let's move this to 1.20 frames maybe, and let's see how this animation is gonna look. We will get something like that. Now let's do one thing. Select this, go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift. Let's select this and move this handle over here, and let's move this handle over here like that. Okay, so it will come a little bit slow and it will go a little bit faster over there. Okay, like that, and let's minimize it. Okay, now this animation hit U, so we can see the last keyframe over here. Then from this point I'm going to select all of these layers and let's move this over here. Okay, with the help of open square bracket, select this G, go to the add, go to the trim path and go to the trim path options, and let's make this end value or let's zoom in and let's increase this start value somewhere around like this over here. Or let's do one thing, we will go and choose this 100 value like that only over here, and let's try to adjust it like that. Okay, so I think let's make this two values 0, and I mean let's make this two value 100 over here, and I want this one should go from the opposite side. So let's see whether we are getting properly or not, like that. Or let's make this 0 over here. Yeah, let's choose 0, and yes. So basically we need to make this two values 0, and we will create one keyframe at start, and then we can increase this value totally like 100, so we'll get this animation. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and let's increase the distance between these keyframes. Select those keyframe and hit F9, so we are gonna get something like that. Then go somewhere around over here, not at the start, but somewhere a little bit forward. And over here, you will get this setting called offset. We need to bring this, at this point when this is gonna touch the stroke. So what will happen? We are gonna get that animation over here. Let's bring this a little bit more backward like that. So we will get the animation over here. Let's make this minus 30 maybe. Yeah, so we will get this animation properly. But if you see over here, it's at the start it looks weird. So let's select this and go to the graph editor, select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here, so we will get this animation properly. Now if you check it out this animation, and if you see, we are gonna get something like that. Okay, but still it looks weird, so let's select this and go to the graph editor, select this and by holding shift let's move this properly over here. Then let's select this, go to the graph editor, select this and let's move this properly over here, so we will get something like that. Okay, this looks good to me, so if you check it out this, we are gonna get something like this. Okay, and you can move this keyframe a little bit over here as well, like this. Now I'm going to select this trim part, hit Ctrl C, select all the layers and hit Ctrl V, then hit U. And we don't need that graph editor for this keyframes. So select those keyframes only like that, and we'll make sure to hit F9, and let's try to adjust them one by one like this. So the animation is gonna be, randomly, not randomly, but one by one like that. Okay, like this. Now, when this animation is gonna get completed around at this point, I'm going to select this stroke. I'll create one keyframe at the start, and at the end, I'm going to make this value 100 like this. Maybe not 100, but I think we need to go inside this, and we need to create one keyframe at end. And at this point, let's make this value 0 and select those keyframe and hit F9 like that. So we'll get this completing animation. So if we check it out this now, we got this and then we got this. Okay, and let's hit U. Now let's bring all of this downwards Now I'm going to select all of this and I'm going to lock this layers. Now we will enable our this layers over here like this, out of which I'm going to select this G, and I want this G animation should start somewhere around from this portion. So select this G and let's move this over here. Press P for position. Select this, right click and choose separate dimension over here. Now select this G, press S and initial scale. I'm going to make this 50. Press P for position and let's try to bring this over here, and let's bring this over here like that. Okay. Now let's create one keyframe at Y position. Go few frame forward. Again create another keyframe, and at the start press V and let's try to bring the position of this G over here. Then go over here. Let's create one keyframe at X. Go few frame forward. Let's move this from here to here. Again go few frame forward. Let's move this from here to here. Go few frame forward. Let's move this from here to here. Again go few frame forward. Move this from here to here. Few frame forward. Move this from here to here. Few frame forwards. Move this from here to here like that. Then go somewhere around at this point. And now we will try to bring this at the original position over here like that. Okay. Now let's go somewhere around at this point. At this point over here, let's create one keyframe at Y. Similarly, at this point, create one keyframe. One keyframe, basically, we are going to create on Y positions of each and every one for now. And in the middle portion over here, I change the Y position over here. Then at this point, let's keep it as it is. Again, in middle position, you can simply select this keyframe and hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Go over at this point, same. In the middle, I'm going to hit Ctrl V again. At this point, let's try to bring this over here. Also, X position, I'm going to bring this over here. At this point over here, I am going to hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V in the Y position keyframe. Then at this point, let's try to bring this over here. Then at this point, with Ctrl V again. Then at this point, let's choose this X position over here. Somewhere around over here, hit Control C, Control V, the first keyframe, like that. I mean Y position keyframes. And at this point, again, I hit Control V, or you can bring this a little bit over here as well. Okay. Now, at this point, I press S for scaling option to create one keyframe. Hit U, go at the 7 second, and let's make this value 100. And change the Y position to downwards like this. Okay. So if you check it out this now, we are getting something like that. Now I'm going to go in Y position keyframes and let's hit F9. Go to the graph editor, zoom in, right click and make sure that you are in edit speed graph. Select this graph, hold shift, move this handle at this point from here to here and from here to here like that. So you will get that, proper bouncing animation. Then select this graph by holding shift, move this handle over here and this handle over here, just like my other tutorials, like that. So we need to adjust each and every graph like this only, like this. Again, zoom in a little bit, select this, move this handle over here, this handle over here, this handle over here, select this and move this handle over here, select this, move this over handle over here, this over here and this over here and this over here. Make sure that all this is proper. Then after that, select this, move this handle at this point, this handle at this point, this handle at this point, and this handle at this point. Okay. So if we check it out this, we are gonna get something like that. Okay, then go over here, press R for rotation to create one keyframe, hit U, then go over here and let's make this 180 degree, then go over here, let's make this 360 degree, then go over here, let's make this again 180 degree, then go over here again, make this 360, so it will become 2. Go over here, let's make this 180, go over here, let's make this 360, then go over here and let's make this 2. Okay, so we are gonna get something like that. You can select those keyframe and hit F9 as well, like that. Okay, now after that, at this point when this is coming to this R should get revealed. So with the help of open square bracket, I'm going to move this over here, then go over here. With the help of open square bracket, try to move this over here, then go over here. With the help of open square bracket, move this over here, move this over here, like that. And select all of these layers. Let's disable all of this and enable the motion blur. And now if you check it out this in full resolution, I'm gonna get this kind of a animation. Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition. I'm going to call it as main animation, as always we do. Width I'm going to choose 1920 and height 1080. Frame rate is 30. Duration I'm going to choose 30 seconds only. Sorry. Okay. And background color I'm going to choose black color and simply hit OK and hit OK. Then go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title selection, like this. Then I'm going to press Control Y to create one solid background, and we are going to choose black color for it. Hit OK and hit OK, and let's lock this like this. Now I'm going to select my ellipse tool and let's delete the stroke, and I want choose white color for this fill and simply hit OK, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse. Now select this ellipse, press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Press S for scaling option. Initially let's make the scale 0 and create one keyframe. Zoom in a little bit, let's go to around 1.20 frame and we will increase the size up to it will cover the entire comp. Now select this and hit Ctrl D again and press S for scaling option and scale it somewhere around like this. Now we will delete the fill. I don't need that fill, but for the stroke I'm going to choose white color, and not white but black color, and simply hit OK. And stroke width, let's choose 2 pixels like this, or let's say 1 pixels. Okay, like this. Now select this and go inside this contents, ellipse and stroke, and in stroke we am going to choose this dashes, so I'm gonna get something like this. Okay, so let's minimize it and let's see. I'm gonna get this kind of stuff. Now hit U again. Now I'm going to select this ellipse and I'll hit Ctrl D, hit U over here, and we'll press scale S for scaling, and let's decrease the scale somewhere around like this over here. Now go to the start, select this, press P for position, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here and move this from here to here like this. Okay, like this. Go to the start. So if I see this, I'm gonna get something like this. Now select this, hit Ctrl D, hit U, go over here, press V and move this from here to here. Okay, so if I see this now, I'm gonna get something like this. And for this too, I'm going to stroke width 6 pixels like this. Okay, now select this two and hit Ctrl D again, and let's bring them at the top over here like this. And this time I'm going to delete the stroke. I don't need the stroke, and for the fill I'm going to choose black color. Okay, then press S and let's decrease the scale over here. Select this one, move this over here
select this one, move this over here like this. Okay, let's try to adjust the position properly. Now again select these two, hit Ctrl D, and let's try to bring them at the top, and hit U, and let's decrease the scale to 10. Okay, now this time select this and move this over here, select this and let's move this over here like this. Okay, now select this stroke over here, not this but this one, hit Ctrl D, select this last one, press S, and let's try to increase the scale up to this. Okay, so now if we see this animation, we are gonna get something like this. Okay, like this. Now hit U, and so we can see all the keyframes. Select all the keyframes and hit F9. Then go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle, sorry, select this and move one handle over here. So if we see this animation now, we are gonna get something like this. Now this animation should be one by one, so I'm going to take a distance of 5 frames, and I'll adjust it like this with the help of open square bracket like this. So if I see this animation now, I'm gonna get something like this. Okay, now I'm going to select one ellipse, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse. Select this, press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Go to the Align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Press S for scaling option and scale it like this. Now go to the start, press P for position, create one keyframe, go to around 2 seconds, create another keyframe. Go to the start and let's bring this out of this composition somewhere around like this. Select this, hit Ctrl D, press P, and let's bring this out of this composition somewhere around like this. Okay, so we are getting something like this. Now select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here, zoom in, select this and move this handle over here like this. So if you see, we will get something like this, but it looks quite weird, so I'm going to select this and let's move this up to 1 second, and this animation should start somewhere around at this point like this. Okay, and then whenever it's going to touch, I'm going to select this and I'll hit Ctrl D, I'll hit U, and I'm going to delete this keyframes, and with the help of open square bracket, move this over here, press S for scaling option, create one keyframe at the start, zoom in, and let's increase the size of it somewhere around like this. Okay, then select those keyframe and hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. So I'm gonna get this kind of stuff. So if we see, first we will get this and then this. Now for this ellipse, I want some opacity animation as well, so press T for opacity, create one keyframe, and let's make this opacity 0. Hit page down button 2 times and let's make this 100. Hit page down button 2 times and let's make this opacity 0. Now select those keyframe, hit F9, alt click on the stopwatch and type loop out expression over there. Copy this expression, or you can select those keyframe and hit Ctrl C, go over here, select this and hit Ctrl V. So I'm gonna get this kind of stuff. Same expression you can apply to the strokes as well, so you can select this and you can go somewhere around over here and hit Ctrl V, so you will get that animation over here as well. You can select these two as well and you can apply that animation over them as well. Okay, so if we see, we are gonna get something like this. Now after that, hit U, then right click, new, and create one null object. Okay, and select this and hit enter, and let's call it as rotation. Okay, now except for this and this, and this first 3 layers, all of them should be parent with this null object. So select this and bring this after this first three layers, which is this one, and this one, and except the last layer, which is our main background. Select all of these layers and make it a parent with this rotation. Now go to the start, press R for rotation, create one keyframe, go somewhere around over here, and let's make this 90. So if we see, we will get something like this. And let's increase this rotation somewhere around over here, so we will get something like this. Okay, if you want, then you can increase it up to 10 seconds as well, like this. Okay, now when this thing is going to appear, I want some extra stuff over there as well. So for that, what I can do, I can select this ellipse, I can select the black color. Let's, by holding shift, create one ellipse over there. Select this, go to the ellipse, go to the ellipse path, and let's make this size 5. And let's disable this titles affection just for now. I'm going to select this ellipse, and out this contains, go to the add, choose repeater, go to the repeater, go to the transform repeater. Let's decrease the repeater size from here, let's increase the number of copies. Then select this repeater, hit Ctrl D, go over here, transform repeater. Let's make this position 0 from here and increase the position from here, and let's decrease the number of copies over there. Okay, then select this, hit Ctrl D to duplicate it and move this, press P for position. Let's bring this down from here to here to here. Okay, then select both the layers, press P for position, create one keyframe, go somewhere around somewhere at this point. Let's select this, move this from here to here, select this and move this from here to here. Now select those keyframe and move them somewhere up to 5 seconds. So if you see, along with this, I'm gonna get this animation. Now select these two, let's press S and let's increase the size, and let's change the position somewhere around over here, like this, and press T for opacity, and let's make this opacity 20, like this. Okay, now I'm going to select all of this stuff and press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as animation. Okay, so this is all the animation stuff. And now I'm going to bring my PNG logo. You can choose whatever logo you want over here, like this. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for find edge effect, and you can double click to apply. And if you invert this, as you guys can see, we are getting weird stuff. So what I can do, let's apply fill color over here to this logo and choose white color, and let's try to apply find edge effect now. As you guys can see, I'm gonna get this kind of stuff, and if I choose invert, I'll get weird stuff. So I'm going to choose this stuff over here. So let's do that and press S for scaling option. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally properly, and choose screen mode, or let's choose multiply, like this. Okay, so we are going to choose multiply mode, like that. Okay, and press T for opacity, and let's decrease the opacity somewhere around, let's say 30 maybe, and you can increase the size a little bit over here. Press T, let's make this 25. Okay, so we'll get something like this. And select this, press P for position. Initially it should be over here, create one keyframe, go few frame forward and move this from here to here. Okay, and move this keyframe over here. So what will happen, along with that, we will get a small amount of animation as well. Now we will hit Ctrl 0 and we will bring our PNG logo over here again, and we will apply fill effect over here, and I'm going to choose white color. Select this, press S, and let's decrease the size of it. Now at this point, somewhere around this, I'm going to select this, move this over here, press P for position, create one keyframe, press T for opacity, create another keyframe, hit U, go few frame forward, create another keyframe, go to the start, move this upward and let's make this value 0. Select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph. By holding shift, move this handle over here, so we are gonna get this kind of reveal. So if we see this animation now, we will get something like this. Now I'm going to select this animation portion and I'll hit Ctrl D. Let's bring this at the top over here and right click, go to the reveal layer in source project, select this animation and hit Ctrl D, and by holding Alt I'm going to replace it over here. Okay, then double click to open this and we are going to delete this portion, which is this one. We will hit delete. Similarly, these two portions I'm going to delete, I don't want them. Okay, over here I'm going to choose over here tint effect. Let's double click to apply and swap this color. Okay, and bring this over here and let's minimize it. Okay, so somewhere around at this. Okay, so initially I'll get this animation, then I'm going to bring this stuff over here and let's enable this over here like this. Okay, so let's bring this over here like this and press T for opacity and let's decrease the opacity. So now if we see this animation along with this, I'm gonna get this kind of animation. Now right click new and create one null object. Select all of these layers, make it apparent with this null, select this null, go to the start, press S. Let's make this 110, create one keyframe. Okay, and as the animation goes somewhere around 5 to 6 seconds, let's make this 100, or let's make this 90 or something, or let's make this 100. So as always, here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation. Width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate should be 30 seconds, and background color I'm going to choose black color, duration is 30 seconds, and simply hit OK. Then we will go to choose grid and guide option and we will simply hit on titles of action. Then I'm going to press Ctrl N to create another composition and I'm going to call it as zero text. This is going to be my main title layer, and simply hit OK. And now you can type whatever title you want. I'm going to type motion over here and I'm going to type graphics, and I'm going to select this text. I'll go to the paragraph menu and I'm going to choose center text. I'll go to the character and I'm going to choose white color, and let's reduce the size from here. Also reduce the distance between these alphabets. Now I'm going to select this text. I'll press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. I'll go to this align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. I'll press S for scaling option and I'll scale the size somewhere around like this. Now I'm going to select this text. I'll go to the effect and presets panel and I'll search for transform effect like that, and then apply this transform, and we are going to reduce this skew value to somewhere around -2, or let's do -5. Okay, so this is going to be my text. Then you can go to the character menu and you can choose Fox italic as well, so you will get this kind of text. After that, press Ctrl Alt Home, go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Okay, so this is going to be my text layer. Okay, now we will go to the main animation comp and we are going to hit Ctrl 0 and I'm going to bring my text layer over here. Now after that, press Ctrl Y to create one solid background, and I'm going to choose grayish color for this and simply hit OK and hit OK, and we'll bring this downwards. We'll go to the effect and presets panel and we are going to search for CC vintage effect and double click to apply, and we are going to increase this amount to 120. After that, let's lock these two layers, then right click new and we are going to create one adjustment layer and we will hit enter and we will call this layer as blur like that. Okay, then after that I'm going to press Ctrl N to create another composition and we are going to call it as aim. I'm going to reduce this log aspect ratio, and width of this I'm going to choose 500 as well as 500 and simply hit OK. Now because we have already enabled this choose grid and guide option over here. So from with the help of this guide only, we are going to create our aim structure. So first of all, I'm going to select my rectangle and I'm going to reduce this fill. I'm going to delete that fill, and for the stroke I'm going to choose white color and simply double click to create one stroke, and stroke width I'm going to choose 3 pixels. Then select this and hit Ctrl D, press S and let's reduce the size. Then select this, hit Ctrl D, press S and let's reduce this size like that. Okay, and let's make this full resolution. Now I need some arrows over here, so let's try to do that. Press G for pen tool. Then from here to here I'm going to create one arrow. Let's select this and press Ctrl Alt Home to align that anchor point to the center. Okay, and hit enter and let's call it as arrow. And just to understand, I'm going to change the color of this one to yellow. Then right click new and create one null object. I'm going to select this arrow, I'll hit Ctrl D and I'll make it a parent with this null. I'll select this null, I'll press R for rotation and I'm going to rotate it on 90 degree. So this arrow will come over here. Then I'm going to select this arrow, I'll hit Ctrl D, I'll select this arrow and I'm going to remove this null object, parenting. This time I'm going to make it 180, so it will come over here. Select this arrow 3, hit Ctrl D, select this arrow 3, remove this parenting, and this time let's make this 270. So it will come over here and let's delete this thing. Okay, after that we need this points over here. So from here to here I'm going to create one stroke. Select this, press Ctrl Alt Home, go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Select this, hit enter and let's call it as line. After that hit Ctrl D, R and let's rotate it on 90 degree. Okay, so this is going to be my aim structure. Then I'll hit Ctrl 0. I'm going to select this aim and I'm going to hit Ctrl D, hit enter and we are going to call it as aim mask. Double click to open this, select all of them and delete and press Ctrl Y to create one solid background. Now let's go to the main animation and we will hit Ctrl 0 to open this. We will select my aim and I'm going to move this over here. Then I'm going to select my aim mask and I'm going to move over here. And I'm going to select this aim mask and I'm going to make it apparent with this aim. And let's hide this aim mask for now. Let's select this aim, press S and let's reduce the size of it like that. Okay, and if you see this in full resolution, we will get something like this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this blur over or adjustment layer over here. I'll go to the effect and presets panel and I'm going to search for Gaussian blur effect. So let's apply blur first and let's apply Gaussian blur effect and let's make this value 150. Okay, or let's make this 100 or let's make this 50. I think 50 looks good to me. Okay, then after that I'm going to select this adjustment layer which is blur. I'll press F4 and I'm going to choose alpha inverted mask. So I'm gonna get this kind of structure. Now let's go inside this M, select all of these layers and let's change the stroke of them to 8. Okay, so it should be visible over here. Now if I select this M and if I move it, as you guys can see, we will get something like that. So let's go to the align tab, align it horizontally, align it vertically first. Let's select this and press S, create one keyframe. I'm gonna go somewhere around 1.20 frame and I'll create one keyframe. Then I'll go to the start and I'm going to reduce the size of it somewhere around like this. I'm going to select this and I'm going to hit F9. Then I'll go to the graph editor. I'll select this graph. First of all, right click and make sure that you are in edit speed graph. I'm going to select this. By holding shift, I'll move one handle over here and then I'll move one handle over here. So if you see this now, we will get something like that. Okay, then I'm going to select all of these layers and let's move this somewhere around at 2 seconds. Okay, so it will animate from here. Okay, like that. Then at this point I'm gonna go inside this. I'm going to select these two lines and it should appear at this point. So with the help of open square bracket, I'm going to move them over here like that. So if you see, first we don't have anything, then we have this like that. Now the reason why I chose this 2 second gap, because I want to animate this text. So to animate this text, we will do simple animation. We'll go to the animate, we'll go to the position, we'll go to the range selector, and then we will bring this position downwards. We will create one keyframe at the start. We'll go to around 2 seconds and I'm going to make this value 100. Then we'll go to the add property and we are going to choose tracking. Then let's reduce this tracking. Then we'll go to the add property and we are going to choose opacity, and then opacity should be 0. Then again add property and we are going to choose blur value, which is going to be 50. So if you see this now, we will get something like that. Then select those range selector keyframe start and we will hit F9. We'll go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. So if you see, we will get this kind of animation. Okay, then I want this focus animation should start somewhere around at 1 second maybe. So first I'm gonna bring this over here like that. Then I'm going to select this aim, press P for position. Let's create one keyframe. Let's move this over here, go few frame forward, move this over here, and then move this over here, and then move this over here like that. Okay, so first let's select this and let's gonna select this and hit F9. So we will get this animation like that. Then go to the graph, select this graph by holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here like that, like this. Okay, over here. Okay, so if you see this animation, first we will get this and then we will get this kind of stuff. Then from this point, somewhere around from this 6 point, or I think this too much animation over here, so let's remove this keyframe as well as this keyframe over here like that. Let's select those keyframes and by holding alt I'm going to reduce this up to like that. So if you see, we will get this, then we will get this. Then somewhere around at 5 seconds I'm going to select this and I'll press S. Let's create one keyframe, go few frame forward, create another keyframe. Then in middle of that I'm going to reduce this size to 30 and or let's say 25. Select those keyframe and we will hit F9 like that. Okay, but if you see over here we are getting some problems, so simply right click, keyframe interpolation, let's choose linear first and hit OK. So if you see this problem, we are getting this -25, so let's make this 25. Then select those keyframe and we will hit F9 like that. But this should be a little bit faster, so by holding alt I'm going to reduce the size. Okay, so first we will get this, then we will get this normal animation, and at this point it should be like that. Okay, then from here let's select this P again, create one keyframe, go somewhere around over here, it should go over here. Select those position keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph, select this keyframes, shift hold, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. Okay, so if you see this now, we'll get something like that. Then hit U. At this point I'll take a gap and I'm going to select this and I'll hit Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So first we will get this, then this animation. Then at this point over here, now I'm going to select this blur. I think this kind of blur is too much, so let's make this 25 only, or let's say 35. Okay, then let's go somewhere around over here. We will create one keyframe at blurriness, we will hit U. We'll go somewhere around at this point and we will make this 0, and then as it goes further we will make this 35 again. Okay, so we will get something like that. Okay, same procedure I'm gonna follow over here as well. Let's select those keyframe, Ctrl C, Ctrl V and hit F9. Similarly select this and hit F9. Okay, so first we will get this. Okay, so now the reason why I'm doing this, because at this point our sparkle animation should be visible, so I don't want any blurriness over there. So to do that, what we need to do, I'm going to select this and I'll select this text first, and over here I'm going to see where is my animation is completing. Now my text animation is completing somewhere around at this point, so I'm going to select this and I'll press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Okay, then at this point this portion should be on separated layer, so let's try to create mask for this. So I'm going to select this, let's change the color of this one to yellow one, and select this layer, go to the pen tool, and from here to here to here to here I'm going to create this kind of mask. Okay, so we have this mask layer over here. Press Ctrl Alt Home like that, then select this layer and hit Ctrl D, press M, and let's delete this mask. Then go somewhere around over here at this point. Let's select this or this portion, and we will select this and press Ctrl Alt Home again. Okay, now I'm going to select this layers over here and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it, press M, and let's delete this mask. Now I'm going to enable these two layers only, like that, and this one is gonna get exploded, so I'll hit enter and let's call it as explode. Similarly, I'm going to copy this text and hit Ctrl V and hit enter, and let's call it as still. Now I'm going to select these two layers, I'm going to bring them at the top, and just for my reference I'm going to apply fill effect on them. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for fill effect, choose red color, also apply fill effect. Now according to this I need to create a mask on this still layer, so let's try to do that. I'm going to select my pen tool, then from here to here, then up to here I'm going to create like this shape. Okay, and make sure that this text is also selected like that. Okay, then from here to here to here like that, then we will create this kind of mask. Okay, and let's make this fit. Okay, like that. Okay, and this is going to be the still, so if I disable this I'm gonna get this kind of structure. Okay, this looks good to me. Now let's select this explode and we will delete that fill, we don't need that, and we will delete that fill as well. Now let's select this and we are now need to make it in the form of still frame. Okay, so let's select this and select all of them, and let's bring them over here from the start. Okay, we will get something like that over here. Let's select this zero text, we don't need that at least for now. Okay, or let's keep it as it is, we might need it after that. Okay, now at this point hit U so we can see those keyframe. Now at this point we need to explode, so let's select this explode layer and we will select this and we'll press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose and move all attributes into the new composition, and we are going to call it as explode 01 and hit OK. Then select this layer, press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as explode 02. Okay, then after that I'm going to select this, right click, time, freeze frame. Similarly select this explode 1, right click, time, freeze frame, and we are going to select this both layer and let's move this over here. Now as I know that this is going to get over here at this point, it's going to get explode. So first of all hit Ctrl D to create a duplicate out of it, and these are going to be my extra, so let's change the color of this one to yellow and we will lock this so we can focus on this much only. Let's hide this for now. Okay, now these are the one which are gonna get explode, so we are going to apply CC pixel poly effect and double click to apply, and if you hit play we will get something like this. Okay, then as the animation goes further this also gonna get explode, so at this point I'm going to select this layer with the help of open square bracket. I'll move this over here, apply CC pixel poly and hit enter. So if you see we will get something like that and something like that. Now according to that we need to adjust these ones. So let's select these two explodes, which are extra layers, and let's move them over here. Now my explode 2 animation is starting at this point, so I'm going to select this explode 2 and I'll press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer and I'll hit delete. Same procedure, I'll go somewhere around over here. This explode 1, at this point it's going to get explode, so press Ctrl Shift D and let's delete that, like that. So if you see this now, we'll get this animation first, then this, and then this. Okay, like that. Now I'm going to select this, I'll hit U, and at this point I'm going to delete this blur value, I don't need that. Okay, now for this pixel poly effect we need to do certain changes over here, so let's try to do that. Grid spacing, I'm going to choose, let's say not 1 but let's say 3. Also direction randomness, speed randomness I'm going to increase, so we will get something like that. And same thing, I think the gridness is too much, so let's make this 10, like that. And at this point as well, I'm going to make this grid 10, increase this direction randomness as well as speed randomness, like this. So if you see this now, we will get this, and then we will get this. Okay, now along with this, if you see over here for this layer, let's enable this aim over here. I need certain kind of lines over here, so for that what we can do, I can select this aim, I can press F4 and I'm going to enable this icon over here. Then I can go inside this, I'm going to select this line, I'll press S, I'll unlink this, and let's increase the size of this line on this axis. So let's make this 8000, or let's make this 10,000. Same thing, I'm going to select this S, unlink this, and let's make this not on this one, but let's make this 10,000. So if you see, we are gonna get the line over here as well. Okay, but if you see, we are still getting a little bit empty space. So go inside this aim again, and we need to increase the size on this line, so try to increase that as much as you can. Okay, this looks good to me. Yep. So if you see this animation from the start now, we will get this animation, then we will get this, and then we'll get this. Now another thing we need to do over here is there should be some wiggle effect, so right click new and let's create one null object. Let's select all of these layers except this aim, let's make it a parent with this null object. Select this null object, press P for position, and let's do one thing, we are not going to make this blur parent with this null object, so delete this parenting, as well as this aim should not be parent with this one because this is already parent with this aim, which is this one. Select this null object, alt click on this stopwatch and apply wiggle 2 comma, or let's say 3 comma 3. Okay, so what will happen along with this animation, we are gonna get a little bit of wiggle effect as well, like this. Okay, like that. And whenever this bullet is going to touch this, there should be some shaky animation should be there. So right click new and let's create one adjustment layer, or instead of adjustment layer, let's right click new and let's try to create one null object, hit enter, and let's call it as shake. Now this null object is going to parent with this shake null object. Now this null object is going to shake this entire composition. So press P, create one keyframe, hit page down button one time, and let's move this a little bit over here, like that. Hit page down button one time, select this initial keyframe, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So as you guys can see, it will get a little bit shaky. Similarly, press S, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here, let's make this 125. Go over here, let's make this Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So we will get that, you know, it will look like that it's actually hitting the target. Okay, but if you think that scale is too much, so let's make this 115 only, not too much, like this. Similarly, at this point I'm going to select this keyframe, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, like that, and at 10 seconds I'm going to hit N. So this is how you can create this kind of animation, which is, if you think, very clear, you can say creative. And another thing you can do, you can go inside this still over here, you can select this, hit Ctrl D, you can select this, press S, unlink this and increase the scale. You can go to the character menu, you can delete this fill, you can add stroke, and you can choose 1, or let's say 0.5, or let's say 0.2 or something for the stroke. So we will get a little bit different structure over here, like that. Okay, but the thing is, we have already created this kind of stuff. So let's do one thing. I'm going to select this, I'll hit Ctrl X to cut it out. I'll go over here and I'll hit Ctrl V, and I'm going to bring this over here and make sure that it should be parent with this null object. Okay, so if you see, first we will get this, then we will get this animation, and then we will get this animation. And if you want, you can enable all of the motion blurs for each and every one. So with the help of that, we will get a little bit of realism in our animation. Okay, like that. It will take a little bit time to load this animation, but the final output would be awesome, like this. Also, you can get this files on Patreon, link is in the description.
Okay, so here we are in Adobe After Effects. Let's create a new composition and we are going to call it as main animation. As always, width is 1920, height is 180, frame rate is 30, and duration is also 30-second long. And background color, I'm going to choose white color and simply hit OK and hit OK. Then we'll go to choose grid and guide option and simply hit on title selection. Then I'm gonna go in my Illustrator and simply by hitting Control N, or you can go to the file and new options and create one document with height and width 1920 by 180 and RGB mode and create. I have already created this document, so I'm not gonna create that again. And I have this Adidas logo reveal, only PNG file. I'm simply going to go and import in Adobe Illustrator and I'll bring this over here. Now this is the PNG file that I want, and now I need to expand it and convert this into proper rasterized layer. So for that, go to the image trace option and simply click on it and hit OK, like that. Then it will trace this image. Then simply click on this expand. So now we have this file in a vector form. So we will select this, we will right click and we will choose ungroup. So now each and every portion is separated. Simply select this white portion and hit delete. Similarly, those areas where white portion is visible, simply delete this. Similarly, if you see over here in R, we have this white portion as well as this white portion. So simply delete those portions. Okay, and if you go over here, as you guys can see, each and every section is properly on a different layer. So let's select this, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click and let's call it as 1. Select this, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click, let's call it as 2. Select this, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click and let's call it as 3. Okay, so we have all of this on separated layer. Same procedure I'm gonna follow for all of this alphabet. I'll select this A, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click and let's call it as A. Let's hide those layers. Similarly, select this, Ctrl X, double click D. Select this and this, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, let's call it as I. Select this, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click and let's call it as D. Select this, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click, let's call it as A. Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click and let's call it as S, and this is going to be the R only. Okay,
So our logo is ready, but the size of this one is too huge. So hit Control A, press E, and by holding Alt Shift, I'm going to bring this size over here. Now this is our logo. Now we need to create some kind of mask for this. So for that, what you can do is that I don't need any mask for these layers. So I don't need to check it out now. So I'll hide them. Then I'll create a new layer, and I need to create one stroke kind of structure for this alphabet. So let's lock all of this layer and try to create one strokes. So for that, I'm going to press pen tool. So press P for pen tool, and from here to here by holding shift, I'm going to create one path. Press V for selection tool. Let's select this fill and let's make this none. And for the stroke, I'm going to choose red color over here and simply hit OK like that. Let's select this stroke and let's increase the size of the stroke width somewhere around like this. Okay. Similarly, after that, press L for ellipse tool, and by holding shift, I'm going to create one ellipse. Press V, and let's select this and let's try to bring this somewhere around over here. Then press E, hold Alt Shift, and try to adjust the size properly. So as you guys can see, we got something like that. Then select this two, and by holding Alt, I'm going to bring this over here. Hold Alt Shift properly to move it. Similarly, select this stroke and hit A to select this anchor point. By holding Shift, move this over here like that. Then I'm going to select this. By holding Alt, I'm going to bring this over here like that. Let's increase the stroke width little bit. Then I'm going to select this. By holding Alt, I'm going to bring this over here. Then we have this A already, so by holding Alt, bring this over here. And now we need to create some portion for this S, so which is very simple. Simply press G, or let's say P, create one line over here, shift hold, one line over here, shift hold, one line over here, one line over here, one line over here, one line over here, shift hold, one line over here, and by holding shift, one line over here. Now hit A, select these two portions, and let's try to make it curve like that. Similarly, select these two portions, let's make this curve like this. Similarly, select these two portions and select this many portions and make it curve like this. Okay, like that. Now I'm gonna go and select this much portion, and with the help of arrow keys, I'll move it over here. Similarly, select these two portions and let's try to move this over here. Similarly, select these two portions and let's try to bring this over here. We will adjust it properly. Select this, adjust over here. Okay, now I'm going to select this portions and I'm going to increase the stroke width somewhere around like this unless it's going to cover the entire S. Okay, so now it's covering this S over here. Now we will simply go inside this. Okay, we will choose click to target, then we will go to this options and we will choose release two layers. Then select all of them and let's try to bring them at the top, and all of these are going to be our stroke layers, and we will hide those layers like that. So okay, so we have this as well as we have this portions. Okay, and let's save this file. So our file is ready to animate. So let's go to the After Effects, which we have already created one file. Simply press Ctrl I to bring this logo file. Go to the import as footage. I'm going to choose composition, return layer sizes, and I'm going to simply hit import and simply bring this logo file over here. Now double click to open this, hit Ctrl K to open the project settings, and let's change the color of this one to white. Okay, now I'm going to select all of the stroke layers over here. Okay, and then I'm going to select all of these alphabetical layers, similarly holding this, and let's try to bring them at the top over here. Let's select this and let's hide all of this. Now these two are my alphabetical layers, so I'm not going to change the color of this one, but this one, which are the stroke layers, first of all right click, go to the create and shape from vector. So now we have these outlines, bring them at the top, and we will delete all of these layers, we don't need that. So now we have this outline layers. All we need to do over here, that we need to create animation for it. So now let's go to the add menu, go to the trim path, go to the trim path over here, and end value should be 0. Create one keyframe. I'm gonna go around 20 frame. Let's make this 100. Then go to the start, create one keyframe, go 10 frame forward, and let's make this 100. So now after that, select those keyframe and hit F9. Go to the graph editor. Select this graph. First of all, right click and make sure that you are in edit speed graph. Select this graph by holding shift, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. So if you see, we will get something like that. Now I'm going to select this trim path. I'll hit Ctrl C, select all of these layers and I'll hit Ctrl V. Okay, and hit U like that. I'm going to take a distance of 5 frame. I'll select this A and I'll, with the help of open square bracket, I'll move this over here. Okay, let's focus on this A and this A only. Okay, this A and this A. After the certain time when this is going to cover, I need this A and this one should be over here like that. Okay, so I'm going to select these two layers. I'll press Ctrl Shift C and I'll call it as A, and let's hide this. Okay, hide this and lock this. Then we have one for this A and this A, which is this one. If you hit U, we have this trim path over here as well. Okay, and I'm going to select this A over here like that. And again, at this point, I want this A should start animate. So let's bring this over here. Select all of these two layers, press Ctrl Shift C. Let's call it as A, and this should be after this like that. Okay, let's hide this. Okay, also one thing, select this stroke layers and make sure that their color should be the black one. Okay, even you can do that after, but just for now, let's make this black. Okay, after doing that, and let's hide this. Now the next layer we have this and this, which is going to be our, let's enable those layers. Okay, we have this, let's see, we have this as well as this. Okay, let's bring them down. Let's hide all of them. Okay, let's bring those over here. And at this point, I want this D should start animate. So let's bring this over here. Select these layers, press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as D. And this D should be after this A. Go inside this, select those strokes, and make sure that color is black. So if you see this now, we will get this kind of revealing animation. Okay, like that. So now after that, what we can do is that let's hide this. The next one is this eye, and let's see whether our stroke is this. Yeah. At this point, select this eye, move this over here, select this, change the color, stroke color to black, select this two, press Ctrl Shift C, let's call it as eye, and let's lock this layer. Same procedure for this D as over here, and this, select this, bring this over here, this D should be over here, select this two, let's make the color black, press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as T. Okay, like that. Double click to open this, select this two, and make sure that color is black. Okay, yeah. Okay, this I should be over here, this D should be over here, this A should be over here, and now the only thing remaining is this S. So bring this over here. Okay, let's bring this S over here, select this and change the color of this one to this one like that. Now for this S, what we need to do is that we will select this first, then we will go to the content as well, go to the group one, go to the stroke, and we will create one keyframe on stroke width and create one keyframe and hit U, and at somewhere around at this point I am going to create another keyframe, and initially I want the stroke width should be 20 like that, and at it goes end somewhere around at this point the stroke should be 20 again. Okay, like that, and select those keyframe and hit F9 like that. Okay, and select this two and press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as S. And this are this is going to be like that only. Press S, create one keyframe, go to 1 second, create another keyframe, go to the start, let's make this value 0, select those keyframe, hit F9 like that. Go to the graph editor, select this and move this handle over here. So now if I enable all of them, we are gonna get this kind of revealing animation. Now I want one by one, so I'm gonna bring this one by one.
So if we see this now, we are gonna get this kind of revealing animation. Okay, let's select all of them, press Ctrl Shift C, we will call it as text reveal. Okay, like that. Now we need to create some backgrounds over here. So for that I'm going to go select my ellipse tool and I'm going to delete the stroke. I don't need the stroke, and fill I'm going to choose white color, and by holding shift I'm going to create one ellipse. Select this, press Ctrl Alt Home, go to the add menu and choose repeater. Go to the repeater, go to the transform repeater 1, and let's change this position over here. Increase the number of copies like that. Select this repeater, hit Ctrl D, go to the repeater 2, transform repeater 2, position 0, and let's increase this value at the over here as well. Now this is going to be the shape. Now let's bring this over here. Now select this text reveal and hit Ctrl D. Select this shape, press F4 and choose alpha mask. Select this text reveal and we are going to take a distance of 10 frames like that. So we are gonna get something like this. Okay, we are gonna get this kind of reveal. Now along with that I'm going to select my pen tool. From here to here I'm going to create one stroke and choose black color. Go to the add menu and we are going to choose trim path. Go to the trim path, not trim path, but let's add repeater again. Go to the repeater, go to the transform repeater, and let's bring this portion over here. Increase the number of copies. Again press Ctrl Y to create one solid background and bring this to. I'm going to select this 2, press Ctrl Shift C, and let's call it as lines. Okay, like that, and bring this over here. Zoom in, go to around 5 frames or let's say 10 frame, move this over here and choose alpha mask. So we are getting something like that. Go to 20 frame. I am going to select this text reveal. I'll hit Ctrl D, bring this over here. Let's unhide it. Okay, like that. So if you see this now, we are gonna get this kind of reveal. Now this is the text reveal. Now same kind of reveal I need for this one as well. So for that what we can do, I'm going to first of all select this, hit Ctrl D, press F4, choose alpha mask. Similarly select this, hit Ctrl D, select this second one, choose alpha mask. Select this, hit Ctrl D, select this and choose alpha mask. Okay, now this is the text reveal. So press Ctrl Shift C and we are going to call it as text animation. Okay, like that. Press F4 and enable all of these layers. Okay, let's hide this text animation for now. Now for this one I'm going to select this 1, 2 and 3 and press P for position, create one keyframe, go to around 1 second, create another keyframe, go to the start, and now let's try to animate. Select this one, press V, and let's bring this totally like that. Okay, or simply what you can do, if you want proper animation, simply hit Ctrl R and bring one ruler over here like this. Okay, and now all you need to do is simply bring or another the ruler over here like that. Now all you need to do, simply bring this portion over here like that. Okay, so now if you see, we are gonna get this kind of reveal. Okay, like that. Same, select this and this time change this ruler position over here. Okay, same this and move this over here like that. Similarly move this over here, select this 3 and let's try to bring this over here. Okay, and let's make this fit. Select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold, move this handle over here, take a distance of 10 frames, select this 2, move this over here. Okay, we will get this kind of reveal. Let's select this, press Ctrl Shift C, let's call it as animation, and just like our text animation reveal, first we will get this shape layer, which is this one. Hit Ctrl C, go over here, hit Ctrl V, try to bring this over here like that. Let's hide this. So if you see, we are getting this kind of stuff. So okay, similarly we have created this line comb, bring this over here, select this animation, hit Ctrl D, bring this over here, press F4 and choose alpha mask. Okay, like that. And again, just like our previous one, we will take a distance of 5 frames like that,
And at 10 frames, I'm going to select this animation, hit Control D, move this over here and bring this over here like that. So first we'll get this and then we will get this. Okay. Now we will try to do this over here. So if you see this now, first we will get this animation. Let's try to bring this properly at the center like that. Then press P for position, create one keyframe, press S for scaling, create another keyframe and hit U, zoom in. Let's go somewhere around over here and let's try to bring this over here like that and bring this over here like that. Let's make this 65 like this. Okay. Select those keyframe, hit F9 like this over here. Okay. Then press Ctrl Y to create one solid background and bring this over here like that. If you see, we'll get something like that. Okay. After that, right click new and create one adjustment layer. Then go to the effect and presets panel and search for tint effect and simply double click to apply and swap this color. After that, right click or simply create one ellipse tool and let's delete this stroke and simply create one ellipse. Press Ctrl Alt Home. Go to the Align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Select this adjustment layer, press F4 and choose Alpha Mask. Okay, now select this shape layer, press S and let's increase the size of this first. Create one keyframe. At this point, let's make this value 0. Select those keyframe and hit F9. So if you see, we are gonna get something like that. Now select those keyframe, go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold, move one handle over here and move one handle over here. So first we will get this animation and then we will get this animation. Okay, like that. Or instead of this, if you want, you can simply go over here, select this and hit F9 again. You can select this portion by holding shift. You can bring this handle over here. Similarly, you can bring this handle over here like that. Okay, let's select this and let's try to bring this over here. So first we'll get this and then this. After that, I'm going to select this shape layer. I'll hit Ctrl D, hit U and let's delete those layers and bring this over here like that. And this time I'm going to delete this fill. I don't need that and I'm going to choose black color for this stroke. Create one keyframe at scale. Then in search option, you can type stroke, create another keyframe, select this and hit U. Go to around somewhere over here and increase the size of this and let's make this stroke width 0. Go to the start and let's make this stroke width 25. So we will get something like that. Then select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph, select this graph, shift hold, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. So we will get something like this. Okay, so first we will get this and then we'll get this. If you want, then you can bring this somewhere around over here as well. Okay, like this, and bring this backwards. Okay, and at somewhere around at this point, let's go over here, select this text reveal and let's bring this portion over here like that. You'll get this animation over here. Okay, and if you want, you can select this logo layer. You can try to bring this somewhere at the middle like that. So okay, you can also try to bring this over here as well. Okay, you can adjust the time of that animation according to your needs. If you want to animate a little bit earlier, you can do that as well. Okay, like this. Okay, then if you want, then you can right click new and create one null object, select all of them. Okay, except this adjustment layers, select this logo only. For example, make it apparent with this null, select this, create one keyframe at start. Let's make this animation run like that, and up to 6 seconds I'm going to make this value 90 and I'm going to make this n. Okay, so first we'll get this animation and then we'll get this animation. Okay, Then if you want a little bit amount of motion blur in animation, simply right click new and create one adjustment layer. Go to the effect and presets panel and search for motion blur, or you will get this pixel motion blur. Simply double click to apply. So what will happen, it will add a little bit of motion blur in your animation, and because of that your animation will get a little bit smoother. Okay, so this is how you can create this kind of logo reveal animation in the help of After Effects and with the help of Adobe Illustrator. So here we are in Adobe Photoshop. Now I have this FedEx logo. You can choose any logo you want, but right now I'm going to choose this one. The main reason is that this logo is a combination of two colors, and that is going to be very useful for our animation. So first thing first, we need each and every alphabet on different layers. So first of all, I'll select this F first. So I'm going to choose pen tool for this tutorial. For the selection, I'm going to select this much portion first, and then simply select this much portion like that, then hit Ctrl Enter, then hit Ctrl X to cut it out. Create a new layer and press Ctrl Shift V to paste in place. Double click and simply call it as F, and let's hide this. Now same procedure I'm going to follow for this E as well. I'll select this much portion with the help of pen tool only like that. Make sure that you are selecting it properly. If you want to be very precise with the selection, you can, but right now just for the sake of tutorial I'm going to select something like that. So hit Ctrl X, new layer, press Ctrl Shift V, double click, and let's call it as E. Okay, same after that I'm going to select this D, press M, which is a shortcut key for the rectangle selection. I'm going to select this much portion like that. Over here, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, and hide this. Then I'm going to select this rectangle selection tool. I'm going to select this much portion, hit Ctrl X, new layer, Ctrl Shift V, double click, let's call it as E, double click, let's call it as X, select this, double click, and let's call it as D. Okay. So now I have each and every alphabet on different layers. I'm going to delete this white color background. And now what we need to do is that I'm going to select my magic eraser tool. Let's hide all of them and simply select your magic eraser tool. If you see in eraser options, the third one is magic eraser tool, and with the help of that simply select that layer and click on this portion. Same procedure I'm going to follow for all of these layers. Simply click those areas where those white colors exist. Okay, same procedure over here as well. Over here as well. Okay, so now our logo is ready to get animated in After Effects. Now all you need to do, simply go to the After Effects, create a new composition. We are going to call it as main animation. Width I'm going to choose 1920 and height 180, frame rate 30, and duration is 30 second long, and background color is white, and simply hit OK. Then we'll go to choose grade and guide option and simply say hit on title selection. Now press Ctrl I, and I'm going to bring this logo and import as. I'm going to choose composition return layer sizes and simply hit import and hit OK, and simply double click to open this. Select all of them, hit Ctrl C to copy, go over here and hit Ctrl V, right click, new, create one null object, select all of them and make it apparent with this null. Then select this null, press S for scaling option and scale it somewhere around like this, and let's try to adjust the position properly over here. Okay, so this position looks good to me. Then I'm going to select this and simply hit delete. Now select all of them and press P for position, create one keyframe. But before that, by holding shift, I'm going to select those positions. I'm going to right click and I'll choose separate dimensions. I'll create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Then along with that, I'm going to press R for rotation, create one keyframe each on rotation. Along with that, press S and create another keyframe and hit U now. Okay, then I'm gonna go somewhere around, let's say 1 second maybe. I'll create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y. Similarly on scaling as well as rotation properties, I'll go somewhere around over here. Again, I'm going to create one keyframe at X and one keyframe at Y only. Then in middle of that, I'm going to select all of them and I'll change the Y position somewhere around over here. Then I'll go to the start. I'm going to choose align tab. I'm going to choose align horizontally and then align it vertically. and let's try to bring this at the center. Then in middle of that, I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to bring them Y position somewhere around like this. And initially at the start, the scaling should be somewhere around like 10. Okay. Then at this point, the rotation should be for this E and X. I'm going to choose a rotation 1 in positive value. Okay. Like that. So if you see, we will get something like that. Then I'm going to select this, this and this by holding shift, and I'm going to choose -1 value over there. Okay, so we will get something like that. Now press P for position so we can see position keyframes only. Let's select those Y positions. So for that, simply select all of them and in search only type Y. So it will show us only Y position first. Then select those Y position keyframes and we will hit F9. Then we will go to the graph editor. We will select this graph by holding shift. I'll move one handle over here and I'll move one handle over here. Select this, move one handle over here. Select this and move one handle over here. Go over here, zoom in. Select this by holding shift, move one handle over here and one handle over here. Move one handle over here and move one handle over here. Okay, so now if you see this, now we'll get something like that. Okay, if you hit play, we'll get something like this. Now obviously the animation should be one by one, so I'm going to take a distance of 5 frames and I'm going to adjust them somewhere around like this. Okay, so if you see this, now we'll get something like this. Okay, now select all of them, press Ctrl Shift C and let's call it as logo reveal. Okay, so this is going to be my logo reveal. Now along with that, I need a certain amount of animation over here. So for that, I'm going to select my ellipse tool, let's say, and I'm going to delete this stroke. Then simply by holding shift, select create one ellipse. Select this, press Ctrl Alt Home, go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Press S. Initially, let's make this value 0. Okay, and let's create one keyframe. I'm gonna go somewhere around 1.10 and let's increase this value somewhere around like this. Now go to the start and let's bring this downwards and select this fill over here, and with the help of this picker, pick up the color of this FedEx logo like that. Okay, over here. Then select this, hit F9 to these keyframes, go to the graph editor, select this by holding shift, move one handle over here, go to the start, select this and move one handle over here. So we will get this kind of blowing effect. Then select this, hit Ctrl D, zoom in, or you can move this to 5 frames as well, like that. And now we need to select this, and with the help of this picker, I'm going to pick up this color. Then again, I'll select this and I'll hit Ctrl D. I'll move this over here and I'm going to change the white color. So we will get this kind of stuff. Okay, so this is going to be my cracker animation, or you can call it as blow. So select all of this shape layer, press Ctrl Shift C, and we are going to call it as blow. Okay, and now we will hide all of these layers. Now let's come to our main portion. So for that, I'm going to select my ellipse first, and for the color you can choose with the help of this logo over here. I'm going to pick up let's say for now I'm going to pick up this color. Okay, and now by holding shift, I'm going to create one keyframe, not keyframe, but I'm going to select this and create this ellipse, and I'll press Ctrl Alt Home. Then I'll go to the start and go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically. Now press P for position, create one keyframe at start. I'm gonna go somewhere around 1 second and I'll create one keyframe. Go over here and let's move this from here to here. After that, right click, new, and create one null object. Select this and make it apparent with this null. Now select this null, press R for rotation, create one keyframe, go over here and let's make this value 2. So now if you see, we will get this kind of rotation properties. Let's select those keyframe and we will hit F9. Go to the graph editor, select this by holding shift, move this handle over here and move this handle over here. Okay, so we are getting this kind of stuff which is very fast. So let's simply bring this value up to around 4 seconds. Okay, so we will get something like this. Okay, now let's select these two layers, press Ctrl Shift C and we will call it as circle. Okay, so if you see this now, we are getting this kind of animation. Now I'm going to go in effect and presets panel and I'll search for echo effect and double click to apply, and I'm going to increase the number of echoes to 30, echo operator maximum. So if you see this now, we are getting this kind of stuff. Now in echo time, instead of 0.0333, I'm simply going to remove this first 3 and I'll type 0 over there. Okay, so if I see this now, I'm gonna get that a little bit smoother. And if you want, you can make this copies to 150 as well. So what will happen, that the tail of this animation, let's make this quarter resolution, will get a little bit bigger. So currently, just for our preview, I'm going to choose somewhere around 60 only. Okay, so first I'll get this animation, then I'm going to select this and I'll hit Ctrl D to duplicate. I'll right click new and I'm going to select one null object, select this circle and make it apparent with this null, then select this null, press S, unlink this and let's make this -100. Okay, like that. So now if you hit play, we will get this animation in different direction. Now select this circle and we will go to the effect and presets panel and search for fill effect and double click to apply. And from the logo, I'm going to pick up this color over here. Okay, and let's hide this. Now select this circle and this null object, zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna move it to somewhere around, let's say 10 seconds, and I'm going to bring this over here. Okay, like that. So we will get something like this, and then we will get this extra portion over here like that. Now let's go inside this circle, go to the start, select this, create one keyframe over here, hit U, go over here and let's make this value to somewhere around 10. So the size is gonna get decreased like this. Okay, over here. And if you want, you can make this totally 0 as well. Okay, so we will get something like this. Okay, so this animation is also done. So select this circle, this and this null object, press Ctrl Shift C and let's call it as extra. Okay, and let's hide this. Now after that, I'm going to select this ellipse. Let's select this and let's create this kind of structure. Select this and press Ctrl Alt Home. Go to the align tab, align it horizontally and then align it vertically like this. Now after that, if you want, go over here, go to the path, select this path, right click and choose convert to Bezier path. Go to the path and create one keyframe, then select those selections, select this uppermost selection and simply delete it. Okay, so we'll get something like this. Then select this portion, select this portion and shift hold and simply bring this handle over here like that. Then shift hold and bring this handle over here like this. Okay, you can shift hold and or simply adjust this like this. Okay, this is one way. Another way is you can simply do is that instead of creating any path or structure or anything like that, simply select this. Let's delete this path structure, we don't need that. I'm going to select and create one rectangle. I'll create this kind of rectangle as a mask, hit enter and let's call it as mask and we will choose alpha mask. Okay, or you can choose alpha inverted mask and select this mask and make it apparent with this shape layer. Okay, now let's select this shape layer, press Y for pen behind tool and by holding Control I'm going to bring this downwards. Okay, and now we need to create animation over here. So let's select this, press P for position, create one keyframe, then I'll go somewhere around, let's say 1.10, create another keyframe, then go to the start and let's bring this over here like that. Select those keyframe and hit F9. So we will get something like this. Okay. Then go to the graph editor, select this by holding shift, move this handle over here. Okay. Then select this too and hit Ctrl D to duplicate it. And this time I'm going to select this layer and hit U. And let's delete those keyframe and press Ctrl Alt Home to align their anchor point to the center. Let's bring this downwards. Okay. Enable this logo reveal, and over here with the help of picker, I'm going to pick up this purple color. Okay. Then select this and let's move this over here. Select this, create one keyframe at position, go few frame forward. Let's bring this over here. Go few frame forward, select this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Then select those keyframe, hit F9, go to the graph editor, select this graph, shift hold, bring this over here, this over here, this over here, and this over here. Okay, so if you see, first we'll get this and then we'll get this. Now after that, if you see, you'll get something like that, and along with that this should be a little bit faster. So by holding Alt, I'm going to move this up to this only, like that. Then along with that, I'll press R for rotation, create one keyframe, hit U, go over here and let's make this one complete rotation. Select this rotation and hit F9, go to the graph, select this graph, shift hold, bring this adjustment like that. Okay, so we will get something like that. And when this is gonna come over here, we need to now adjust it. Now let's select these portions and press Ctrl Shift C and we'll call it as spot animation. Okay, so now our entire animation is almost ready, and now just we need to add them line wise. So along with the spot animation, I want this extra animation to be run like that, just for the reference. Okay, then whenever this point is gonna come over here, somewhere around at this point, then only this spot animation should start falling on it like that. Okay, so if you see this now, first we will get this and then this. Then at this point, when this is gonna come over here, I want this blow animation should start to get animated. So I'll select this blow animation and it should start to get animated at this point. Okay, and then at this point only I'll bring this logo reveal at the top, enable it, and I'll bring this over here. So it will try to animate at this point. So now if I say this, first I'll get this and then I'll get this. Okay, and at this point I'm going to press N. So now if I see this animation, I'm gonna get this and then I'll get this. Okay, so this is how you can create this kind of logo reveal animation inside of After Effects with the help of Photoshop.